In the 19th century, Japan underwent a profound transformation from a feudal society to a modern industrialized nation. This period of rapid change, known as the Meiji Restoration, was driven by a group of visionary leaders and ideologists who were determined to modernize Japan and secure its place in the world. These modernizers drew on both Western and traditional Japanese ideas to reshape the country's political, economic, and social structures. The seeds of modernization were sown in the late Tokugawa period, a time when Japan was still under the rule of the Tokugawa shogunate. The country had been largely isolated from the rest of the world for over 2 centuries under the Sakoku closed country policy. However, by the mid-19th century, external pressures were mounting. Commodore Matthew Perry's arrival in 1853 with his black ships forced Japan to open its ports to foreign trade and sign unequal treaties with Western powers. This intrusion exposed the weaknesses of the shogunate and highlighted the need for reform. One of the most influential ideologists of this transformative era was Fukuzawa Yukichi. Born in 1835, Fukuzawa was a scholar, writer, and educator who played a key role in shaping Japan's modernization policies. He is best known for his advocacy of Western learning and his efforts to promote education as a means of societal advancement. Fukuzawa traveled to the United States and Europe, where he was deeply impressed by the technological and intellectual achievements he observed. Upon his return, he wrote extensively about his experiences and the need for Japan to adopt Western knowledge and practices. His seminal work, An Encouragement of Learning Gakumon no Susum, argued that education was the foundation of a strong and prosperous nation. Fukuzawa's ideas helped lay the groundwork for Japan's educational reforms and the establishment of modern schools and universities. Another key figure in Japan's modernization was Ito Hirobumi. Born in 1841, Ito was a statesman and one of the principal architects of Japan's modern political system. He studied in England, where he was influenced by Western political thought and institutions. Upon returning to Japan, Ito played a central role in drafting the Meiji Constitution, which established a constitutional monarchy and a parliamentary system of government. The Constitution, promulgated in 1889, was modeled after the Prussian Constitution and sought to balance the power of the emperor with that of an elected legislature. Ito's efforts to create a modern political framework were crucial in stabilizing Japan's government and enabling its industrial and military expansion. Okubo Toshimichi, born in 1830, was another prominent figure in the modernization movement. A samurai from the Satsuma domain, Okubo was instrumental in overthrowing the Tokugawa shogunate and establishing the Meiji government. As a key member of the Meiji oligarchy, Okubo implemented a series of sweeping reforms that transformed Japan's economy and society. He spearheaded the abolition of the feudal system, replacing it with a centralized government that could more effectively direct national policies. Okubo also championed the development of infrastructure such as railroads and telegraph lines and promoted industrialization through the establishment of state-owned enterprises. His vision and leadership were vital in laying the foundations for Japan's rapid economic growth. Saigo Takamori, born in 1828, was a complex figure whose contributions to Japan's modernization were both direct and indirect. As a samurai from the Satsuma domain, Saigo played a key role in the overthrow of the Tokugawa shogunate and the establishment of the Meiji government. However, he later became disillusioned with the direction of the Meiji reforms, particularly the marginalization of the samurai class and the rapid adoption of Western practices. Saigo led the Satsuma Rebellion in 1877, which ultimately failed but highlighted the tensions between tradition and modernization. Despite his opposition, Saigo's legacy as a champion of samurai values and his emphasis on loyalty and honor continued to influence Japanese society during the modernization process. Kido Takayoshi, born in 1833, was another significant reformer and statesman. A samurai from the Choshu domain, Kido was a key figure in the Meiji Restoration and the establishment of the new government. He was a strong advocate for the adoption of Western technologies and institutions, believing that Japan needed to learn from the West to strengthen itself. Kido played a pivotal role in the Iwakura Mission of 1871 to 1873, a diplomatic journey during which Japanese officials visited the United States and Europe to study their political, economic, and educational systems. The insights gained from this mission informed many of the subsequent reforms in Japan, including the modernization of its military and educational institutions. Yamagata Aritomo, born in 1838, was a military leader and politician who significantly influenced Japan's modernization, particularly in the realm of military reforms. Yamagata was instrumental in building a modern, conscripted army based on the Prussian model. He believed that a strong military was essential for Japan to protect itself from foreign threats and to assert its influence in the region. Under his leadership, Japan developed a professional, well-trained army equipped with modern weapons and technology. This transformation enabled Japan to win key conflicts, such as the First Sino-Japanese War and the Russo-Japanese War, solidifying its status as a major military power. The modernization of Japan was not limited to political and military reforms, it also encompassed economic and social changes. Shibusawa Aiichi, born in 1840, was a leading figure in Japan's economic modernization. Known as the father of Japanese capitalism, Shibusawa was instrumental in developing Japan's banking and industrial sectors. He founded numerous companies, including the First National Bank, which played a crucial role in financing Japan's industrialization. Shibusawa was a proponent of corporate ethics and believed that business leaders had a responsibility to contribute to the welfare of society. His efforts to promote modern business practices and economic development were vital in transforming Japan into an industrialized nation. The education system also underwent significant changes during Japan's modernization. Mori Arinori, born in 1847, was a key architect of Japan's modern educational system. As the first Minister of Education, Mori implemented reforms that established a national system of compulsory education. He believed that education was essential for creating informed and capable citizens who could contribute to Japan's modernization. Mori's reforms included the introduction of Western subjects, such as science and mathematics, into the curriculum, as well as the establishment of teacher training institutions. His efforts laid the foundation for Japan's highly educated workforce, which would drive the country's economic and technological advancements. Nakai Choman, born in 1847, was an influential thinker and advocate for democratic ideas during Japan's modernization. He was deeply influenced by the works of Western philosophers, particularly Jean-Jacques Rousseau. Nakai translated Rousseau's The Social Contract into Japanese and wrote extensively about the need for democratic reforms and individual rights in Japan. Although his ideas were considered radical at the time, Nakai's advocacy for democracy and civil liberties contributed to the broader intellectual discourse that shaped Japan's modernization. The modernization of Japan was not without its challenges and controversies. The rapid changes brought about by the Meiji Restoration disrupted traditional social structures and created tensions between different segments of society. The samurai class, in particular, struggled to adapt to the new order, as their privileges were abolished and they were encouraged to pursue new careers in business or government. The Satsuma Rebellion, led by Saigo Takamori, was a manifestation of these tensions and highlighted the difficulties of balancing tradition and modernization. Despite these challenges, the efforts of Japan's modernizers laid the foundation for the country's transformation into a modern, industrialized nation. Their vision, leadership, and willingness to learn from the West enabled Japan to rapidly catch up with, and in some cases, surpass Western powers in various fields. The legacy of these 19th-century ideologists continues to influence Japan today, as the country remains a global leader in technology, industry, and education. In conclusion, the modernization of Japan in the 19th century was a complex and multifaceted process driven by a group of visionary leaders and ideologists. Figures such as Fukuzawa Yukichi, Ito Hirobumi, Okubo Toshimichi, Saigo Takamori, Kido Takeyoshi, Yamagata Aritomo, Shibusawa Aiichi, Mori Arinori, and Nakai Choman played crucial roles in shaping Japan's political, economic, and social transformation. Their efforts to adopt Western knowledge and practices, while also navigating the challenges of preserving Japanese traditions, enabled Japan to emerge as a modern industrialized nation. The legacy of these modernizers continues to shape Japan's development and its role in the global community.